If you're over 60 and you have a heart attack when no one's around, you have about 10 minutes to save your own life. Most people don't make it because they don't know what I'm about to tell you. What you do in those first few minutes will decide if you live or die, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do. Heart attacks don't always happen the way you see them in movies. There's no dramatic chest grab, no falling to the floor while someone calls for help. Sometimes you're alone in your living room, or you're in the bathroom at 3 in the morning, or you're working in your garden. And when it happens, every single second counts. The problem is that most seniors don't know the warning signs. And even worse, they don't know what to do when those signs appear. Today, I'm going to walk you through 7 steps that could save your life if you ever find yourself having a heart attack with no one around to help you. Before we start, hit the like button right now so YouTube shows this to more seniors who need to see it. This information could save someone's life today. Now let's begin. Here's the scary truth. About 750,000 Americans have a heart attack every year, and a huge number of those happen when the person is completely alone. No family nearby, no neighbors who can hear you call for help, nobody. And here's what makes it even worse. After age 60, your risk goes up dramatically. Your heart has been working for 6 decades or more, and the arteries that feed it can get blocked or damaged. When a heart attack strikes, you might have 10 to 15 minutes before things get really bad, maybe less. And if you don't know what to do in those minutes, your chances of survival drop fast, really fast. The biggest problem is that people wait. They think it's just indigestion. They think it's stress. They think it'll pass. And while they're sitting there hoping it goes away, their heart muscle is dying. Every minute that passes without treatment, more of your heart muscle dies. After just 30 minutes of no blood flow, the damage can be permanent. After an hour, it can be deadly. So what do you do when you feel those symptoms and you're alone? How do you save yourself when there's nobody there to call an ambulance for you? That's what we're going to cover right now. And I need you to pay attention to every single word, because this information could be the difference between life and death. Tip number 1, know the real warning signs. First things first, you need to know what a heart attack actually feels like, because it's not always what you think. Yes, some people get that crushing chest pain you always hear about, but a lot of seniors, especially women, get different symptoms. You might feel pressure or tightness in your chest, like someone's sitting on you. Or you might feel pain that spreads to your jaw, your neck, your back, or your arms. Sometimes it's just your left arm, sometimes it's both arms. But here's what catches people off guard. You might just feel really tired for no reason. You might feel dizzy or lightheaded. You might feel sick to your stomach or actually throw up. You might start sweating even though you're not hot. Some people feel anxious or feel like something is really wrong, but they can't explain what. And here's the thing that gets a lot of people killed. Sometimes the pain comes and goes. It might hurt for a few minutes, then stop, then come back. People think that means it's not serious. Wrong. If you're over 60 and you feel any of these symptoms, especially more than one at the same time, you need to act like it's a heart attack until proven otherwise. Tip number 2, call emergency services immediately. The second you think you might be having a heart attack, you need to call for help. I don't care if you're not sure, I don't care if you feel embarrassed, I don't care if you think it might be nothing. Pick up your phone and call emergency services right now. Not in 5 minutes, not after you sit down for a bit, right now. In the United States, that's 911. If you're in another country, know your emergency number and have it saved in your phone. When you call, tell them you think you're having a heart attack and that you're alone. Tell them your exact address. If you live in an apartment, tell them the apartment number. If your building has a code to get in, tell them the code. Tell them if your door is locked and where you're going to be. This is important because you might pass out before they get there and they need to be able to find you and get to you fast. Don't hang up unless the operator tells you to. They might give you instructions on what to do while you wait. And here's something critical. If you have a phone with emergency features, use them. Most smartphones now have an emergency SOS feature that can call for help and send your location even if you can't talk. Set this up right now if you haven't already. Seriously, Pause this video after you're done watching and set it up. If you've ever had a health emergency when you were alone, share your story in the comments. Other people need to hear what it's really like. Tip number 3, unlock your door. After you've called for help, if you can move safely, go unlock your front door. I know this sounds simple, but think about it. The ambulance is going to arrive in maybe 10 to 15 minutes if you're lucky. If your door is locked, they're going to have to break it down, and that takes time. Time you don't have. So if you can get to your door without putting yourself in danger, unlock it. Then leave it closed but unlocked. If you have a screen door or a security door, unlock that too. If you have a dog that might attack the paramedics, put the dog in another room if you can. If you can't, just tell the emergency operator about the dog so they know what to expect. The point is to remove any obstacle that might slow down the people who are coming to save your life. Tip number 4, take aspirin if you have it. Here's something that can actually save your heart muscle while you wait for help. If you have aspirin in your house, and if you're not allergic to it, take it. Chew 1 regular aspirin or 4 baby aspirins. Don't swallow them whole. Chew them up. I know they taste terrible, but chewing them helps them get into your bloodstream faster. Aspirin thins your blood and helps stop the clot that's probably causing your heart attack from getting bigger. Studies show that taking aspirin during a heart attack can reduce your risk of dying by more than 20%. That's huge. But here's what you need to know. Only do this if you're sure you're not allergic to aspirin and you don't have a condition that makes aspirin dangerous for you. If you're not sure, ask the emergency operator when you call them. They'll tell you if it's safe. And don't take anything else unless a medical professional tells you to. Don't take nitroglycerin unless it's already prescribed to you and you know how to use it correctly. Taking the wrong medication or the wrong dose can make things worse. Tip number 5, sit down and stay calm. After you've called for help, unlocked your door, and taken aspirin, you need to sit down. Don't lie flat on your back unless you absolutely have to. Sit in a chair or sit on the floor with your back against a wall. If you have a recliner, that's even better. You want to be in a position where your heart doesn't have to work as hard to pump blood. Now, here's the hard part. You need to try to stay calm. I know that sounds impossible when you think you're dying, but stress and panic make your heart work harder, and that's the last thing you need right now. Your heart is already struggling. If you start panicking, your body releases stress hormones that make your heart beat faster and your blood pressure go up. That puts even more strain on your damaged heart. So take slow, deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Don't take huge gasping breaths. Just breathe slowly and steadily. Focus on counting your breaths if that helps. This isn't just about staying calm mentally. Slow breathing actually helps your heart. It can lower your heart rate and blood pressure a little bit, and every little bit helps right now. Tip number 6, do not try to drive yourself to the hospital. I need to be really clear about this because people mess this up all the time. Do not get in your car and try to drive yourself to the hospital. I know it seems like a good idea. You think you'll get there faster than waiting for an ambulance. But here's what happens. You're driving down the road, your symptoms get worse, and you pass out behind the wheel. Now you've crashed your car, maybe hurt someone else, and you're even farther from getting help than you were before. Or maybe you don't pass out, but the stress of driving makes your heart attack worse. Maybe you have a cardiac arrest while you're driving. Cardiac arrest means your heart stops beating entirely. And if that happens while you're alone in a car, you're dead. There's no coming back from that without immediate medical intervention. The ambulance has equipment and trained paramedics who can start treating you the second they arrive. They can give you oxygen. They can give you medications. They can do CPR if your heart stops. They can use a defibrillator if you need it. They can call ahead to the hospital so the emergency room is ready for you the second you arrive. You can't do any of that yourself. So stay put and wait for them to come to you. The only exception to this rule is if you're in a really remote area where you know an ambulance will take hours to reach you and you have someone else who can drive you. Even then, it's risky. But if you're alone, you stay put no matter what. Tip number 7. Cough hard and repeatedly if you start to pass out. Here's a technique that some people call cough CPR, and it's controversial, but I'm going to tell you about it because it might buy you a few extra minutes if things get really bad. If you start to feel like you're going to pass out, if you start to feel really weak or dizzy, you can try coughing hard and repeatedly. Take a deep breath and then cough hard from deep in your chest. Do this every couple of seconds. The idea is that coughing squeezes your chest and helps keep blood flowing to your brain and heart. It creates pressure in your chest that can keep you conscious a little bit longer. Now, I have to tell you that the American Heart Association doesn't officially recommend this because the evidence is limited and it only works in very specific situations. But some cardiologists say it's worth trying if you're alone and you feel like you're about to pass out, because those few extra minutes of consciousness could be the difference between life and death. But let me be very clear, this is not a substitute for calling for help. This is not a way to treat a heart attack. This is just something you can try to stay conscious long enough for help to arrive. The first thing you do is still call emergency services, always. Now, let me tell you why all of this matters so much and why you need to take this seriously even if you feel fine right now. I want you to imagine something. You're at home on a regular Tuesday afternoon. You're reading a book or watching TV or doing some cleaning, and then you feel it. That pressure in your chest, that weird pain in your jaw, that sudden feeling that something is very wrong. Your brain wants to deny it. You tell yourself it's nothing, but deep down, you know. And in that moment, everything you just learned becomes the most important information you've ever had, because you know to call for help right away instead of waiting an hour. You know to unlock your door instead of leaving it locked. You know to take aspirin instead of just sitting there. You know to stay calm instead of panicking. You know not to drive yourself. And because you did all those things, when the paramedics arrive 12 minutes later, they find you sitting calmly by your door, conscious and breathing. They load you into the ambulance, they start treatment immediately, and they get you to the hospital in time to open up that blocked artery before too much damage is done. 2 weeks later, you're back home, recovering, and you're alive. You're alive because you knew what to do. That's the difference. That's why this information is so critical. Most people don't survive a heart attack when they're alone because they don't know these steps. They wait too long, they make the wrong decisions, they panic. But you're not going to be one of those people because now you know better. Conclusion. Let me go over this one more time because I want to make sure you remember it. If you think you're having a heart attack and you're alone, here's what you do. Number 1, know the warning signs so you recognize what's happening. Number 2, call emergency services immediately and tell them everything they need to know. Number 3, unlock your door so the paramedics can get in fast. Number 4, take aspirin if you have it and you're not allergic. Number 5, sit down, stay calm, and breathe slowly. Number 6, do not try to drive yourself anywhere. Number 7, if you start to pass out, try coughing hard to stay conscious. These 7 steps can save your life. But here's the thing. Knowing them isn't enough. You need to prepare. Make sure you always have aspirin in your house. Make sure your phone is charged and nearby. Make sure your address is clearly marked on your house so emergency services can find you. If you live alone, consider getting a medical alert system that can call for help even if you can't reach your phone. Tell your neighbors or friends or family members to check on you regularly, especially if you have risk factors for heart disease. And speaking of risk factors, the best way to survive a heart attack is to prevent one in the first place. Talk to your doctor about your heart health. Get your blood pressure and cholesterol checked. Take your medications if they're prescribed. Stop smoking if you smoke. Eat better, move your body. I know you've heard all this before, but it matters. It really matters. But even if you do everything right, heart attacks can still happen. That's just the reality. So you need to be prepared. You need to know what to do. And now you do. If this information could help someone you know, share this video with them right now. And don't forget to give this video a like. And if you've ever had a health emergency when you were alone, share your story in the comments. Other people need to hear what it's really like.